Live.
I haven't been live for ages.
You haven't? Well, we're live now. I'm gonna open it on my phone. We are live. That way, because I find even when I open it on my screen, like on my computer screen, I cannot see people's comments as quickly as when they come up on my.
Yeah, I agree. I've got it up too.
Perfect. Okay. So we're live. Hi, friends. Okay. For those of you that do not know me, I'm Brittany Budd. I'm the queen of content, and I help female entrepreneurs get rich with their content using organic content marketing strategies. We're talking about Iconic today. This is my new experience. It is for Q2, April, May, June. We're going to spend 3 months together really boosting your visibility, boosting your marketing, boosting your offer up, and just blowing your business up. And Shannon Rose is amazing. She has partnered with me on this new venture, and she's going to be giving all of the beautiful ladies that are in Iconic some PR exposure. So Shannon, thank you for joining me today to talk about PR. What is PR? Why is it important? All of the questions that we have. But let's start with what is PR?
Yeah, well, firstly, hi everyone. My name's Shannon. Some of your audience know me, some of your audience have worked with me. I've been in the online coaching space for about 5 years.
Wow.
And I got picked up by a PR firm, one of America's top PR firms, actually, in 2021, and became their head writer. And
I didn't even know that.
yeah, so I was a head writer at this PR firm for it was probably about 18 months around that period of time. And during that time, I interviewed some of the most phenomenal entrepreneurs, billionaires, for some of the most globally recognized publications across the world, and have written for them. So my words have been featured in places like Forbes and USA Today, and working with those kinds of entrepreneurs, and the speed at which those PR firms work is very rapid. I was exposed to a lot of things within that space that I loved, and a lot of things within that space that really bumped up against my integrity in terms of showcasing the voice and the wisdom of people who have something to share, who have a voice, who have a vision, who have a very potent message that people need to hear. However, that was kind of being lost in translation, meeting certain guidelines, and the way that things were being written was almost to fit a certain narrative. So sharing this with you, because my work is rooted in integrity, and this is why I reached out to Brittany and I said, these women in Iconic, an opportunity, like having some PR exposure, bringing their voice onto fresh stages in new ways with someone who can distill. And this is one of my geniuses, is distilling your message and your voice. I can hear between the logic, I can hear between what you're trying to say, and I can pull the actual essence of that out and turn it into words in a way that the audience for a particular publication is going to really be in receivership of. So PR, do you have any questions on that?
No, I just have chills because you're the way you talk about it, getting fresh eyeballs. And when you and I talked privately, you were like, we get in our little social media bubbles and we kind of forget that there's a whole world going on outside of that. And
Exactly.
so I love hearing you talk about it, because obviously it's something that you're passionate about and extremely knowledgeable about. And I think that a lot of people don't really understand how PR can change the trajectory of their businesses. So I'm just in awe listening to you.
I love that. I mean, I'm very passionate about writing for women who are embodied in what it is that they stand for. And it really does make all of the difference when you have somebody who genuinely cares about what you have to say and is gifted at turning it into words. And of course, then the work that I do in PR, the relationships that I have with publications across the world. I work with publications from, of course, America, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and we have some coverage also in Europe. So, you know, the essence of this really is to support these women in getting out of the vacuum and the silo that the online space can create for us. And we can feel like, I don't know that this is going to resonate with some of your audience, but like you can feel like sometimes, like, am I really reaching the people who need this? There are so many more people out there, I know, but I keep seeing the same things. When I get on social media, I see the same people. You know, the algorithm
Yeah.
loves to show you who you know, constantly visit, or the things that you're searching for. Like, we know that there are so many different worlds out there and arenas that we can put you on the stage for and give you a mic. But if we just stay doing the same thing, and this is where PR comes in, we can expose you and give you visibility in different channels across different outlets across the world. And that can give you access to a huge range of different networks, of different people. One of the women that I've been recently working with, you know, she's now moving from being here like in the online space, doing predominantly a lot of that, and now she's moving into the corporate world. And so, you know, opening up, doing press releases and different media around that is helping to build that credibility and that beautiful sturdy floor for her to now stand on to go into different areas and arenas. So it's a wonderful way for you to really be given a mic that is not just on your social media platform and gets to expose you to a huge range of, you know, different networks. So it's very powerful. And the way that I work, which I think is important for your audience, and especially the women who are considering to coming into Iconic, or if they are already inside, there is, especially in online coaching, I mean, I've caught a lot of conversations around it. The pay to play can be very, I mean, like, let's talk about the
I was going
elephant.
to ask you about it. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you about it. I was like, this is on my list of questions.
Yeah, I mean, like it is an elephant in the room when it comes to PR. I work on organic earned media. So I am doing the legwork. I'm having these conversations with editors, with publications. We're looking at, you know, creating and curating aligned pitch lists. Like, we're actually having conversations with the publication. And if it's aligned, they're going to pick you up. If it's not, we move to the next publication. So I don't work with pay to play. It's a really important piece of how I work. Also, that integrity. I think that if you deserve the mic, you really do deserve the mic. And it's important that, you know, you recognize that, and you have those people in your corner like Brittany and myself who are doing the work also to really hand you over that mic and go, hey, you earned this.
Can we talk about the difference between the organic earned microphone and the paid microphone?
Yeah, I mean, look, anyone can pay to be in Forbes. You can go and drop 25K and get yourself a feature. I mean, that's how it happens. And a lot of people do that. And I'm not going to write that off. I think that it takes a certain level of like, if you're willing to do it, you're willing to do it. And I don't think we should tear people down for the choices that they make to you know, like, have that stage. So the difference is that, yes, you can pay to get certain features. Generally, those features will say somewhere on that article that it has been like a subscription, or it has been sponsored, or something like that. So if you read between the lines, maybe at the bottom of the article, or generally at the top, it's going to say that. The difference between earn is, it literally is someone like myself has a relationship with a publication, and it's an editor or it's a specific journalist who is at that publication, and they might be covering a certain story, and they will reach out to people like myself and say, hey, we're covering this story. Do you have anyone who is in your community or network that might fit this? And if it's someone like yourself, awesome. I say, yes, I've got Brittany. You know, I have a media bio already set up for you. I have certain things that you can speak to. If it's a little bit different, then we go backwards and forwards on that. And then it's picked up by that particular publication because it's something that they want. Or it's where I go, hey, I've got, you know, this amazing cohort of women. There's their, you know, this is their niche. I know that you guys are covering this, or this is coming up, or this is currently trending, and I pitch them an article, and that then hopefully would get picked up. If it doesn't, we move to a different publication that would be interested in featuring it.
I love this so much because I think that there are so many women out here who want to be more visible. I mean, that's why I created this container, because it is like a one-on-one and a mastermind. So I just call it a container. Um, but there are so many of us that want to get more visible, and we want to be handed the mic, and we want to be on stage, written stage, virtual stage, in-person stages, and we want to be reached out to. And to be reached out to is a little bit more difficult, but having someone like you who is an amazing networker and connection that can do this for these women that are coming into Iconic, it's still that organic earned, like you said, where, yeah, okay, they're not necessarily coming to you, but we have Shannon coming in and going, here's this amazing person. You have to feature them because they're just gorgeous. And then that starts opening up more opportunities. Like you had said, other people are going to see these articles and more opportunities come to you through
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, absolutely. And not only that, there are opportunities for speaking exposures, there's opportunities
Wow.
for podcast or radio. It really does depend on the level that someone is interested in and what opportunities we have coming through,
Mhm.
that we can really put you forward for. So it's very dependent. And I think that something that's important to mention is that I know that this is something that you'll be doing inside of Iconic, is that when it comes to visibility, there's a level of confidence and there's a level of
Mhm.
safety that you need to cultivate to have that visibility increase. Often, I mean, I used to work coaching women in this capacity, still do
Yeah.
in different ways, but as you start, that visibility picks up, there's a level of fear that also comes with that. And so how are we cultivating that safety for then you to feel really sturdy in your voice? And this is a really nice way of doing it, where like you're going to sit with me. I am going to interview you. And like I said, I have interviewed some of the most incredible billionaires across the world for publications like Forbes. So I'm really good at asking questions. Even that process alone, you are going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to learn so much about your message. You're going to learn so much about what it feels like to have someone ask those questions that kind of brings you to your edge. And in that, then you can take that back to Brittany, and Brittany can help and, do her side of the work in terms of what came up for you in that interview process. So I think that, it's such a beautiful thing for you to come into more wholeness, I guess, with your entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, I love that you said that. That was another one of my points/questions with you was, you know, I've done a press release before.
Mhm.
And the way that you do it, and unfortunately I did not do it with Shannon. I did it with someone else, which is fine. We're not gonna we're not gonna cause problems. But I do wish that I had done it with Shannon. Because the way that she does this is so different, where you can go and get a press release with anyone and they just kind of send you a list of questions and you just fill it out yourself and then they just publish that exact thing. Where Shannon comes in and actually interviews you. Can you share a little bit more about what that experience is like for the people? Because I have a girlfriend and she came to me and she was being interviewed on her first ever podcast, and she's like, I've never been on a podcast, like how do I prepare? I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, you just answer the questions. Like, you can answer questions, it's fine. But we kind of get in our own heads about what to expect and how to prepare, and we get kind of nervous. So what advice could you give to someone, or could you share a little bit about what it would look like for the girls in Iconic that are coming in when they get their one-on-one time with you?
Mm. Don't be nervous. I'm so down to earth. I'm so
She
grounded. I mean,
is.
you know that what you see here is what you get. Uh, they're depending on, okay, so here's how it's actually going to work. I mean, I guess we can share this out
Yeah.
openly. So from either next week or the week after, it depends on kind of the structure in the first few weeks that Brittany has. You're actually going to get a questionnaire from me. That's going to give me more information about who you are, your niche, the areas that you're looking to have some exposure in, the different areas that we might be able to actually access in terms of your knowledge and expertise. Once I have all of that information, that's going to give me a greater understanding of this cohort of women that Brittany actually has. In terms of the interview, once I have that info, I am going to come and do a little bit of checking out on who you are and what you do, your work, obviously in the online space. I'm going to take a peek at your website if you have one. If not, I'm going to look at your socials. And from what I'm then receiving from that, I'm going to want to know more. So I will create a list of interview questions. Generally, I create a list of about only 8 because when I sit with you, like I said earlier, I hear between the lines. So I hear between your logic, I hear between what you're trying to tell me, and I want to distill actually the essence of that. And so I'll tend to then ask questions in the moment because I am very intuitive. I can feel you and I can feel beyond like the nerves. Actually, I recently worked with a cohort of women, and I shared this with you when we got together, is that interview process for one of those women was one of the most powerful catalysts, she said, for recognizing her own confidence and like intuition in terms of her visibility and her message. Like that interview was the catalyst. So I really, I want you to know how powerful something like this can be for your own embodiment in your work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in terms of preparation, don't prepare. Show up as you are. I'm very body-based. I do a lot of body-based somatic work in my practice, in my coaching. Like go out for a walk, go and dance, grab a coffee, grab your favorite like drink, sit down. Like it's us two having an epic conversation about your work. So there's really no need to be nervous. Like we're gonna have a great time.
Oh my goodness. I love that so, so, so much. That is so well said. That kind of leads into my next question for you is, I always talk about, I can't decide that you're ready for you. You have to decide that you're ready for this work and take your business to the next level, your visibility to the next level, your income to the next level, your mindset to the next level, all of these things. That's a conscious decision. There are probably women that are watching this going, oh, I really, really want this, but someday, because I need this arbitrary thing, my audience needs to be bigger, or I need to have made 7 figures first, or I need to be fully booked, or I need to not fail on any launch ever before I can do this work. What advice would you give someone who's thinking that they're like too small or not ready to step into this and start doing PR?
That's such a good question. And I think that one of the things that's coming through for me right now is I definitely know that when I'm coaching someone, it is really about that next step and the ripple that very next step can have, whether it's in their body or their family or their business. What's that very next step going to have on the ripple effect? And if you're discounting yourself, thinking that you're too small or you'll have to be at a certain level, you're really not honoring the pace and the timing that you're in for your journey, for your people to find you. And there is an element of course, trust in knowing that what you have to say gets to impact maybe just one person in a new way, that one person who reads that feature in that publication that's maybe over in New Zealand. I just actually did finished writing a piece for a client and we sent it off on Friday, and that publication is actually based out of Australia and she's a UK client. But that, like someone who picks that up in Australia is going to be impacted by that. And that then creates a ripple, for example, in the conversation that she might have with her daughter or her sister or whoever it might be. And so I want you to think about that one person, like just the one person who might pick it up and read it. And she doesn't care if you haven't made 7 figures. She doesn't care if your last launch failed. She doesn't care if you fucking had one of those like mum mornings. I've got 2 kids myself where it's like the shit hit the fan, like we have to embrace our humanness. And on the journey to, being an entrepreneur, I mean, it means taking risks, right? So I'd love to invite you to trust yourself, to trust your timing, and to trust the people who are ready to receive what it is that you're here to offer the world, whether it's one person or 10 or 50.
Oh my goodness. I'm like holding back tears right now because that was just like insanely powerful to me. I think that that whole message of, the ripple and just one person and how it expands out in that way. We don't think, especially in today's world where we are on social media, we forget that on the other side of that one view on your live is a human that sat there and watched you and interacted and is probably talking about it to their spouse or their friends or their children. And it is making that ripple effect, but we get so caught up in vanity metrics and, oh well, there's only one instead of 100. They're people. There's still people that are on the other side witnessing you and consuming you.
Yes. And think about, like I'm a coach, you guys. So I know what this is like. I was business coaching for a period of time. I know what this is like. I know what it feels like. I know what visibility fears are. So, coming into this space, I recognize what it takes to also get behind your yes, to make this investment in yourself. It's big. And I definitely know that, you, Brittany, you're genuine, and so am I. And we don't take your yes lightly. Like, you're going to be held, you're going to be supported. And one of the things that I'd love to remind you of is, why did you start? Like, just think about that. On the days where I tremble and I shake, I think about why I started, and I'm actually just about to launch like my biggest project into the world, and it's for our daughters. And so when I think about some of the fears that bubble up for me, I look at my daughter in her face, and I'm like, none of that matters, because this isn't for me. This is for you. This is for the next generation. So, like, I just want to remind you, why did you start? And let that be the driver.
Oh my goodness. You're making me so emotional with these responses, girl, because I think that we stand for so many of the same things and we're so passionate. Exactly. Exactly. I can feel your passion and your authenticity when you talk. And it's just such a beautiful thing to witness, especially in today's online society where we feel like it's very hard to find people that you can trust. And I just think you're such a beautiful human and light in this world. And I'm so glad that we're collaborating on this and you're bringing your amazing talents to my community. I can't thank you enough for that.
Thank you for also seeing me and my talents and my authenticity. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Do you have any, I don't have any other questions. I think you're amazing. I think you've covered all of the questions I had. You were ahead of me on every question.
Is anyone watching? I can see people on, but I can't actually see the comments. Are there any questions? Does anyone who's watching have any questions? I'm so happy to answer them.
I didn't see any questions, but I do have, okay, so Laura says, good morning. Kelly says, so Laura and Kelly are both in the mastermind here. Kelly says, your organic is important to me. I'm so excited and I appreciate the opportunity so much. She also says, I feel like I wish I had worked with Shannon too. Crystal says, I love this so much. We've got a couple of people watching. We're getting lots of hearts and likes and laughs and all of those beautiful reactions. Does anybody have any questions? There is a little bit of a delay compared to what I'm seeing here. So
and I'm okay too. I mean, like, if you're okay, if you do have any questions about my role in supporting Iconic,
let's talk about that.
My inbox is open, so if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Also, if you need, finer details, or if they feel like they need that. I think too, something that's important to mention is that if you feel that this isn't something that you want to be a part of, or maybe you're not ready to be a part of, that gets to be a choice that you make for yourself. So I think that's maybe something that's important, is that, I mean, I see you in your readiness. And so if you're ready, awesome, like, we're going to do this. And I really just want to remind you too of how catalytic a journey like this can be for your confidence and for your ability to feel crystal clear about what it is that you're saying. Because you have someone who's like pulling all the magic out and then handing it to you, like I said, like I between the lines. And then you can take that also back to Brittany, which I think is just going to be so powerful within the work you're doing inside the mastermind.
Yeah, it is. And you're right. It is, I talk a lot about that future version of yourself, right? When we think about our futures, it usually looks different than what our current reality looks like. Maybe we're working less and, I always picture, my house is perfectly clean. My kids aren't making messes anymore. The puppy's not making a mess. Like I'm hanging out in my kitchen and, it just feels like lighter and airier sometimes. And we think, oh, we've got all this money in the bank account and our clients are amazing and we're traveling and we're doing all these great things. Current reality, I picked up dog poop off my carpet twice this morning already. Like, but when we think about that difference, we get to decide to start showing up as that version of us, that future version of us now, because that's how we do it. We have to take that inspired action now to move in that direction. Otherwise, we can't steer the ship towards it. If we're not actually steering the ship, we're just kind of hands off the wheel and hoping it goes over there. And so when we think about coming into Iconic and doing the work that we're going to be doing in there, and then having the addition of the PR that you're going to be doing for these women, it's stepping into that next level. It's that new level of confidence, that new level of self-trust and safety and security and belief that it pushes you. These women are going to feel that growth edge, and it's not comfortable to push up against your growth edge. You know it, I know it. It's not the most fun. Your natural reaction is to pull away. But if we're pulling away, we can't steer that ship towards the things that we want to be going towards. So I love how you talk about, like, even just the interview process with these ladies is transformative in and of itself, let alone the PR side of things. Just coming in here and talking to you and you working your magic on these girls is so transformative for them and creates that new confidence and that new self-trust. Like I believe it. I can feel it. Just when you and I talked, we weren't even interviewing, but I just felt like, ooh, and I said that to you, this is exactly what I wanted Iconic to be. So it was so timely that I just kind of like put that intention out there, and then we were able to connect on this. Like it was amazing. It was beautiful. But you've got to put that intention out there and you've got to do that work. And I just felt like the sigh of relief in my body, like, oh, this is what I've been wanting to create. And here it is.
Yes.
Yeah. And so for these ladies, you go ahead.
No, you're good. You go.
I was just going to say, for these ladies, when they get on with you and they get to talk about themselves, because we don't talk about ourselves very much, right? We don't get the opportunity to talk about ourselves. Half of the time, the people that ask us, oh, how's business? And you're just kind of like, it's good, because you know that they don't understand anything. So to come in this safe space with you and really get to share their heart and bare their soul on these things that they're so passionate about, like how beautiful and, like I keep saying, transformative for them.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's something that I want to just offer into the space for these women is that, I did mention to you, it would be really fun, like if we do a workshop, like a bonus workshop for the women. And one of the areas that I actually work in is body-based somatics, nervous system regulation, breath work. This is my background. And so I think it could be really nice that in that workshop, when we're kind of speaking about those strategic elements, that what we actually do in that workshop, and I'm literally like in real time sharing this with you, we should do some body-based stuff to bring that sturdiness online for you, where I can hold you and guide you in that. So there is this element of receptivity in your body where I am feeling this new sensation of visibility, and it is safe. It's safe for me to feel this. Like I've got you. And you've also got, I think this is another important element, like crap, we could be on here all day, but having people who really do believe in you and your work in your corner is completely, like, it's priceless. Like it really is priceless. And I do truly believe in the work that we're doing as coaches and healers and spiritual teachers, like we will change the world as long as we're doing it from an embodied, integrous place. Like we will.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. I love that you said that, because again, it just kind of circles around to that self-trust,
Mhm.
and having that space where people believe in you and I in this container
Mhm.
when your self-trust is shaky. It's so beneficial to have other people that can believe in you for you. And the amazing thing about these types of containers is you can come in, you maybe don't know anybody that's in there, and you go, here's this scary thing I'm doing and it feels terrible. And for whatever reason, as women, we immediately rally around and go, you can do it. I believe it. And they don't even question if you can do it or not. You're telling your story, they believe you. You're going to do this. Of course you're going to pull this off. Why are you questioning this? And having complete strangers, particularly women, because women do need community, especially in the online space, especially when we're entrepreneurs, because it's so lonesome to have a container of women who believe in you when
Mhm.
you don't necessarily believe in yourself, because that's normal.
Yeah.
We can't be
The ebbs and the flows, they're going to be there.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly right. It's so powerful. I think that this container, and especially having you here, is so potent. Like I feel like we are creating magic in real time right now for these people.
Mhm. Yeah. And
I
it's
really
safe
do.
to honor those seasons, right? We are women. Like we actually are seasonal cyclic beings in our own
Mm,
internal world, so those ebbs and those flows, they are going to come, and it's how we meet them and then how we're supported through that community that gets to change so much. And so it's important for us to be aware of that, I think.
yeah. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I don't see any questions. Do you have anything that I didn't ask you that you think is important that they know, or anything you want to share?
I think for now we've covered so much that,
Mm,
if you are watching on the replay or you think of something after this, come back and comment on the video,
yeah.
tag us, and I'm more than happy to jump in the comments and share. Of course, also if you feel like you have any like finer detail questions, you can hit me also in my inbox. That's fine. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to meet everybody and support you and sit with you and hear your stories. It's going to be wonderful.
I really wish that I could come on all your private interviews and just listen to the ladies, just so I can like gush. I would never do that because it is like private and secret that you do that. But I just like want to be a fly in the wall. So I can just be like, go girls.
We'll have a little recording. Maybe you can send like a little video and before we hop on, be like, Brittany, go guys.
I love you. I'm cheering you on. Oh, it's going to be so amazing. All right, friends. Shannon, thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Well, this evening for you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And like she said, if you have questions, you can drop them in the comments, tag
Mhm.
us. I'm going to tag you. When I was like uploading it, it wouldn't let me tag you, Shannon. So once we get off, I will edit it so I can tag you in
Mhm.
this video.
Perfect.
My DMs are open, Shannon's DMs are open, and I will put the link to book your call with me to talk about your spot in Iconic. We have a couple of spots left. In the comments and in the description, it's brittanybudd.com/iconic. The investment is $5,000. You get Shannon, you get me. There's tons of other great bonuses, one-on-one calls with me, a call with Shannon. She's going to do a workshop. There's a workbook. There's a mastermind community. There are weekly calls. And there's a Slack channel for daily support, either text or voice. Your goals are inevitable. This is the next logical step for you. BrittanyBudd.com/iconic. Shannon, thanks again. You're
Of course,
amazing.
you are. Can't wait to meet you all.
Okay. Yes, awesome. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. I will see you all later. Bye.